Yeah. Can't hear you.
I think it's working now. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, I will be playing a piece of.
Okay, here we go.
I'll let you know, those are my dogs making that much noise.
I'll be playing a piece of music called Lament in Tremolo Form. And this is, there we go, we got a little lamenting dog sound to go along with this. This was written by African Brazilian composer Laurindo Almeida. And it was dedicated to his pet dog, Rocky. And I'm assuming that this is a dog that has passed, since this is a sad song. And I would also like to put it out to Jenny's dog, Donna. Same idea here.
Thanks, Barbara. It wasn't too sad because we're watching all these waggy tails over here, and it was kind of distracting. Welcome to Summit. Today is the 5th of October, 2025. My name is Jenny Saar. I always forget to say that. That's me. I'm 75 years old. Thank you all for joining us today, whether you're on Zoom or here in person. And thank you for bringing your special friends, fellow creatures. Summit is a liberal religious community bound together by shared principles drawn from world religions, humanist teachings, nature and science, philosophy, and personal practices. We aspire to be a religion of love and inclusion that includes dogs and cats and other creatures. The mission of Summit is to commit ourselves to building a more compassionate, just, and sustainable world. If you are new to Unitarian Universalism or Summit and would like to know more about us, we invite you to go to our website, summituu.org. We wish to acknowledge that our fellowship resides on unceded Kumeyaay land, and that for 10,000 years this land has been and continues to be home to the Kumeyaay people. We recognize the violent history of the colonization of California and honor the continuing presence of the Kumeyaay Nation. We have a few announcements today. Shannon and Liz, so whoever gets up here first, I guess.
She's got wings.
Yeah.
Good morning, my fellow fairies and woodland elves. On November 8th, I'm sorry? Good morning. Yes, yes. On November 8th, we will be welcoming you to the magical fairy garden. And many fairy hands make light work. We have a booth today in the salon for many little jobs and ideas for donations. So please come over and talk to me so we can see where your fairy hands can plug in. It'll be a time of food, fun, and merriment, and booze. We do have a bar, so we will be accepting booze, wine, beer, and champagne until October 25th, at which time we will assess and see what's missing so we can order the rest. If there are any unusual tickets or gift cards collecting dust in your drawer, we are happy to add a little fairy dust to them and make them come alive in the auction. Please bring them to me. If you are wondering if your date is taken for an event for the auction, the dates will be updated and listed in an autoresponder for the email summituuauction@gmail. So that's the regular Summit email, and you'll get an automated email telling you what dates are taken. And I hope to talk to you at the booth. Thanks so much.
Good morning. The Social Action Committee would like you to participate in the No Kings March, October 18th. The No Kings March, October 18th, 10 to 12, either at the Embarcadero or downtown or at the Parkway Plaza in El Cajon. Right. So let's be part of a great turnout. Hurrah.
It's a chalice lighting. I didn't get anybody to light the chalice. Would somebody like to? You'll do it? Okay, sorry, I forgot to do that. We light this chalice in honor of the animal realm, furred and hooved, two-legged, four-legged, many-legged, fanged and clawed, gentle and fierce, wild and tame. May we remember that all animals are our relatives, worthy of our care and respect. Please rise as you are willing and able to sing the congregational hymn and aspiration. Thank you. May love be the spirit of this fellowship. May the quest for truth be its sacrament and service be its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, and to help one another in fellowship. This is our aspiration. Please remain standing while we sing hymn number 361. Enter, rejoice, and come in, right? It's a lively one, so sing out.
So if you weren't awake before, you are now. Good morning, everyone. I am the Reverend Casey Marie Pandell. It is my honor and my joy to be the minister here at Summit Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Whether it is your first visit or your 5,000th visit, you are whole, you are holy, you are loved, and you are so welcome here. Although it's a little embarrassing when your dogs are the ones causing the problems when everyone walks in.
Ministers' children always.
For those of you on Zoom, if you couldn't hear that, Pam says ministers' children are always the ones that act up. I am a 36-year-old woman with shoulder-length purple hair wearing a blue and cream dress and a black and silver stole with the phases of the moon and silver shoes. They're Skechers and they're very comfortable, if you care. Yes. Our Joys and Concerns portion of our service is the time when we get to hold the things in our community that are too big to hold alone than we're used to, because animals can be a little unpredictable. So thank you all for being patient with us and being patient with our animal friends. If you are feeling like you're too close to the animals, please feel free to shift over. If you want to be closer to an animal, go talk to their owner. So we will have the opportunity to see them a little bit more later today. But until then, I would like to invite Diane Lowry to read our invitation for all ages.
Thank you, Casey. It's my privilege, I guess I get to describe what I'm wearing. I'm 50, 60 something, and I have a maroon dress on with some flowery shoes, and it's my privilege to bring to you today Madeline Finn and the Blessing of the Animals. I'm going to try to show the pictures because they are beautiful. Oh, cool. Awesome. We'll see if I can coordinate with that. I don't know. All right. Wake up, Star. It's a special day. You're up early, Mom says. I don't want to miss the blessing, I say. It only comes once a year. Okay, sorry about that. I show Mom the paper again, and the celebration comes once a year, Mom says, but the blessings are all around us. Like Star, I say, and I give him a big hug. That's right, Mom says. I have an idea. Why don't you make some more leaves? After the blessing, you can decorate the windows at the animal shelter. Star helps me gather for my leaf-making things. We make big leaves, small leaves, smooth leaves, and pointy leaves. Look who's here, Mom says. Bonnie, I say. Hi, Mrs. Dimple. Hello, Madeline Finn, Mrs. Dimple says. Thank you for taking Bonnie to the blessing. I can't wait, I say. Then it's time to go. You're going to get a special blessing, I tell Star. You too, Bonnie. When we arrive, there's already a long line and lots of animals. I see dogs and cats. There's even a goat. Do you think they'll run out of blessings, I ask? I don't think so, Mom says. I watch the lady in a brown robe. One by one, the animals come up and she says something to each one. She knows a lot of blessings, I say. Mom laughs. She sure does. Behind us, someone has a goldfish in a bowl. In front, there are 2 ferrets on a leash and a small dog in a basket. How does she know what to say? I ask. I'm not sure, Mom says. Why don't you ask her? Miss Mary smiles. Everyone has a blessing inside, she says. We just have to look for it. Everyone? I ask. That's right, Madeline Finn. Everyone has a gift to share, and once you find it, you have to set it free. Miss Mary, I start to say. Do you have another animal for me to bless? She asks. Yes, please, I whisper, and then I get on my toes. They're not here. They're at the shelter. I see, says Miss Mary. She looks at the long line, and I can tell she's thinking. Madeline Finn, she says finally, maybe you can bring the blessing to the shelter animals. I look at Miss Mary. I don't know how to do that. She smiles. Give me your hands, she says. Miss Mary wraps her hands around mine. Madeline Finn, she says, I bless you to know how special you are. I want you to remember the blessings inside you. She looks into my eyes. Blessings you need to share with the world. She gives my hand a little squeeze. How do you feel now? I nod, but no words come out. Miss Mary, she smiles. Here's a gift from my heart to yours. She pretends to put something in my hand and then closes my fingers around it. What is it? I ask. Courage. Did Star enjoy his blessing? Mom asks when we're back in the car. Yes. And Bonnie? Yes, I say kind of quiet. Everyone had a nice blessing. I open my hands, but there's really nothing there. When we get to the shelter, I tell Miss Dingle all about Bonnie and Star's blessings. How lovely, she says. Thank you, Madeline Finn. I'm proud of you, Mom says. Why don't you do something nice with your leaves while I help Miss Dimple with the donations? Everyone's busy with the dogs. So we go to the cat room. All the kitties stare at me. I don't know what to say. Then Star gives me a nudge, and I remember Miss Mary told me. Everyone has a blessing inside. I go to the first cage. Hi, Winter, I say, and I notice his funny ear. It looks nice on you, I say. He puts his paw out and I touch it. You're going to make somebody really happy, I say. I reach into my bag and pull out a leaf. I am special, I write on it, and I tie it to his cage. Next, I see a mama cat and her 5 kittens. Hello, Wooly, I say. Her kittens climb all over her, and she doesn't mind. I pick out another leaf. I will take care of you, I write. I giggle when the kittens play with it. We will make you laugh, I write on a leaf for them. The next cat is hiding. Hello, Twilight, I say really soft, but he doesn't turn around. His card says he's 13 years old and he's looking for a forever home. I will be your best friend, I write on his leaf and fasten it on. Pretty soon, every cat has a blessing. Next, I visit the dogs. Hi, Shiloh, I say to the first one. I look in his eyes the way Miss Mary did to me. You have a big heart, I think, and he gets a big red leaf. Hello, Lily, I say to the next dog. She's really calm and friendly, and I talk to her for a while, and she just listens. I like to hear stories, I write on her leaf. Maybe you could be a therapy dog someday. Sammy is the last one in a cage. He has a big, happy smile and sweet brown eyes. I have a lot of love to give, I write on his leaf. Soon the whole shelter is filled with colorful leaves. Miss Mary is right, I say. Everyone has a blessing inside. I'm decorating when Mom gives me a hug. I saw your leaves, she says, and then she hands me one. You are my blessing, it says, and I hold on to this.
Thank you so much, Diane. Mary had 2 books that she had me look over, one, that book, and then one about St. Francis of Assisi, and I will tell you, this one made me cry, so that's why I picked it.
Are we singing the children out?
In just a moment.
Okay.
Thank you for the
It's not in
reminder.
the order of service.
Thank you for the reminder, because that means I edited something out. So one of the reasons I liked that story is because it was not only a very sweet story about animals, but it's a reminder that all of us can do this work. There's nothing that I do as the minister that's so special that all of you can't go out and bless the world as well with something as simple as some kind words and a gentle smile. And I would like to sing our children off to their classes.
You guys know this.
Please rise as you're willing and able for hymn number 299, Make Channels for the Streams of Love. Please be seated, if you're willing and able. Okay. This meditation and prayer that this poem, I'm using a poem for the meditation and prayer today that was written by my husband for his beloved chocolate lab, who's Donna in that picture down there. And that was 15 years ago. He hasn't been able to get another dog since. I'll see if I can get through this. Could I ask you something, if you could be so kind? A simple little answer would surely put to rest my mind. There's a lot of reminiscing, mostly about you, me and you, how we were always there together for nearly everything we do. Are you happy there without me? Are you glad you're finally free? Do you ever think about me or miss the way it used to be? Could I ever be forgiven the way I had to say goodbye? All my terrible decisions, responsibilities denied. They say it's all just wishful thinking, compensation for the pain. They may be right, but that won't keep me from hope that I'll see you again. Could I ask you something? Sorry. If you could be so kind, would you wait until I get there and not go running off again? Sorry about that. She was a pretty cool dog. Okay. It's your turn.
So I don't think I have to explain to anybody in this room how important our pets can be to us. Now I know that not everyone who's in the room today is a pet person, and that's okay. The point of this is to show some of our interdependence and how these gentle beings can really have an effect on our lives. But I see a lot of people who are really touched by that meditation, so let's take a big deep breath together. And thank you for bringing that to us, Jenny, because you'll see in your order of service there was something else planned. And she sent that to me the other day, and it was too perfect to pass up. So the reason we chose to do the animal blessing today, although Mary was very sad not to bring Peanut, because Mary's middle child had a vow renewal yesterday, so they're all asleep right now, is that For those of you who come from particularly the Catholic tradition, this is not going to surprise you. This weekend would be St. Francis of Assisi's feast day. And that is the day that St. Francis of Assisi, who was a Franciscan monk isn't the word, Franciscan friar, there we go, that's the right word, who was a big animal lover and was somebody who championed animals as being important to our lives as well. And St. Francis of Assisi is one of those ones that I think most people know about, especially if you're an animal lover, even if you're not Catholic. So this is the weekend that they would celebrate St. Francis of Assisi. So a lot of communities, Lutheran, Methodist, Catholic, will do a celebration of a blessing of the animals. And since I'm an unabashed animal lover, I thought, why not do the same thing for us? Because we do so love bringing ritual to everyone. So I appreciate all of you going with me another year on this journey, even though animals can be animals sometimes. So I've been thinking a lot this week about the things that I've learned from my dogs, which I know is kind of a weird thing to say. It's not that they're like the best conversationalists in the world, right? Although they talk back sometimes. And I wanted today to be a little more lighthearted, because if you've been paying attention to the news this week, some really rough stuff happened. Chicago's having a really rough time right now. The raid on that apartment in the South Side was a horrible thing to experience. And I want to say that that's a bigger conversation that needs to be addressed. But today we're going to take a little bit of a break from that. And that's part of why it felt so important to bring up our furry friends. So when I started my ministry here, I'm going to tell you a secret. I had zero spiritual practice whatsoever. Kind of weird for a minister to say, especially because some of you have known from day one that I've been saying we all need to have a spiritual practice. I'm really good at not practicing what I preach sometimes. And as I've been with my spiritual director, Laura, over the last 4 years, one of the things that we talked about was how we could find spirituality in really simple things. So one thing I decided was a spiritual practice, even though I was super judgmental about it because it didn't feel spiritual enough, was every morning I get up and I make a cup of coffee and I sit on my bed with my dogs. There is a window right next to my bed, so I open the blinds and we sit there and the three of us stare out at the backyard. I totally get why dogs get it to do it now. It's not about the squirrels running by, but it's about watching them in that little patch of sunlight, just sitting there, relaxed, being exactly as they are. And sometimes I watch them and go, gosh, wouldn't it be nice if I could just sit in that little patch of sun with no worries, no anxieties, no judgments, and just be in that space. And it got me thinking, what are all the other things that I've learned from my very loud and apparently grumpy today dogs who are in the library for the meantime? You'll see them all briefly for the blessed. So if you're a dog person, you go out and you take your dogs on the walks, and you might not know the owner's names, but you probably know every single dog's name, right? There are people who I will see walking like 20 feet away and I'll go, ooh, that's Joaquin's mom, but I don't remember her name. Hi. But one of the things with most dogs, not all, but with most, is that they are always excited to meet new people. Who was not excited to meet new people? You can raise your hand, it's okay. Sometimes it's really hard, right? It's really uncomfortable to put ourselves in positions when we don't know who the person we're going to be talking to is. And especially now, with folks being so polarized and divided on things, we're pretty judgmental as soon as we see people, especially depending on what they may or may not be wearing on their heads or other places, for example. But I can tell you what, most of the time, even if a dog's a little bit afraid of you, what's the first thing you see them do? Oh, that little tail wag, right? And that's your signal that it might be okay to maybe offer a hand and see if that is a dog that you can get along with. So it makes me wonder how we can also, especially to those people that we're a little reticent about, how can we offer a hand to them to see what else there is? My dogs are pretty forgiving. Just last night, I took a step back and stepped on a dog paw and got that big, loud squeal of pain and went, oh, baby, don't do that. They forget as soon as it's done. Now, I'm not saying that forgiveness is that easy. And I'm not saying that everyone deserves our specific forgiveness. So please don't misunderstand when I say this. But sometimes, when we need to forgive, sometimes we get in our own ways. So I look at my dogs and I think, they know I didn't mean it. They also have the attention span of a goldfish. But they know I didn't mean it. And at the end, in this situation, they know I'm here to care for them. So sometimes I think about forgiveness for animals and how we can learn when we hurt each other, when we have good intentions, how important it is to come back together for those things. It's not easy work. It can be really painful work, but it's still important work if we want to remain in community with each other. And gosh, one of my favorite things about my dogs is when they run around the backyard with their zoomies. This isn't a question about exercise, because that's not where I'm going to go with that. But I think about the importance of just enjoying things. We, as humans and as adults in this room, we have jobs, we have families, we have kids, we have cars to deal with, we have the groceries that we have to get, we have the bills that we have to pay, and all the things that are always in our heads. When was the last time anyone just stopped and enjoyed the sunlight? Has anybody done that this week? Oh, yes, I love Unitarians for that. How often do we stop and think, oh, I just don't have time to do that? But you know it's something you should do for yourself. Maybe that's taking a walk. Maybe that's having a glass of water, even. There are so many things going on in our daily lives. It's really hard to just sit back and take care of ourselves. But I see my dogs do it every single day. They play, and they run, and they kind of skip. And they nap when they're tired. They nap when they're tired. It's okay to rest. It's okay to breathe and be and sunbathe. But maybe don't sunbathe too long. It's a little hot this week. So it's a little silly, I know, to sit here and see your minister talking about all of the wonderful things that this human has learned from dogs. But gosh, these are things that I don't think I would think about if I didn't have dogs showing me there was a different way to do it. I tell people all the time, when I'm stressed out, the one thing I can always reliably do is sit down with my dogs, get some snuggles and some kisses, and gosh, does that make everything at least a little bit better. And how lucky I am, too, to be their dog mom. And no, dog moms and moms of children are not the same thing. I promise I don't think they are. But how lucky I am that I get to love these animals, that I get to see the love that they have to bring into the world. Because those of you who've met them, and many of you have probably been barked at more than once. Poor Mark has known them for over 2 years, and he gets barked at every single day. Poor Mark Weidman gets barked at every single day. And yet, when they realize who it is, they go with wagging tails and sit at his feet and get scratches. And he's always happy to offer them. And when I see that, I remember, too, how important it is for us to be in communion and community with the world around us. Because it's not just about us humans in this room, right? It's about the pigeons who are outside, which, by the way, if you don't know why we have so many pigeons, it's because we used them as messengers during the war and then, never did anything with them. So that's why pigeons are everywhere. We've sort of bred them to be that way. It's about the bees that fertilize all of our plants, even if it's a little scary, especially if you're allergic to them. It's about the roosters that wake up our farmers in the morning. It's about the cats that stretch and wander and slink around. I also think cats are a really good lesson in consent. So if you don't understand consent very well, go try to pet a cat that doesn't want you to touch it, and you'll understand consent super well after that. It's just a way to remember that the world is bigger than us. We get so caught up in everything that we do in our day. I think it's really easy for us to remember, for us to forget that humans really aren't the top of the food chain. Because long after we're gone, the flora and fauna will still be here. They have learned to survive and thrive in spite of us. There's a resiliency there that we don't understand as humans because we've never quite had to do it. There's a gentleness and a loving and a community that we don't necessarily understand because we don't do community always the way that animals do. We don't always have that biological interdependence together. We have to learn it. We've got some learning how to do that right now over here with wagging tails. Doing very good, guys. I know it's hard. I know it's scary to go out into the world and to think like a dog. That's not exactly what I'm asking for. But I do wish I was as good of a Unitarian Universalist as my dogs are. Because at the end of the day, my dogs value all other animals, except maybe Zeus, who's a little barky more than Vulcan is. That's what I get for naming him after a Greek god. My dogs know how to live in the world. They know how to relax in the world. They know how to be a part of the world. They love unconditionally, even if I've stepped on their paws, even if mommy's had to yell at them for doing something silly. At the end of the day, they are always full of joy and love and compassion. What a really, really wonderful thing to be able to do. I do wish I could be as good of a dog, as good of a Unitarian Universalist, and as good of a person as my dogs think that I am. So may it be, and amen. We're going to do the blessing now.
Oh, you're
You're
good.
good.
Oh, okay, okay. But
So you're good, you're
I
good.
just was gonna
Okay.
give a shout out to the cats.
Yes,
A little
please give a
bit
shout
more-
out to cats,
A little
because
bit
I don't
more
have
shout out
cats.
to the cat.
And I know it's sort of a biased perspective when you're a dog person. So what we're going to do is Barbara is going to play some more wonderful music for us. If your dog is blessing friendly, you can bring your dog to me and I will bless your dog with a little bit of water and a couple of kind words. If you do not have an animal with you and you would still like a blessing, you are welcome to come and get a blessing from me as well. Yeah, thank you. I'll bless your pictures of animals too. If you got them, you bring them. I'm doing it. And the same for all of you. May you all always have warm beds to lay your heads down in, full bellies, and all of the warm, loving hands of those beloveds that care for you. And thank you for indulging me in animal blessing this year.
And we shouldn't forget the horses either.
It's really hard to pick animal blessings because there's so many blessings we could give.
They are. All right. Summit is supported completely by donations. Your donations, however small they may be, help us to keep the lights on, pay the employees, and bring to you really great concerts like last night, which was a really fun bluegrass band, and they were terrific. I'm sorry there weren't more of you here to enjoy it. So next time. The smallest gift is welcome. Those of you on Zoom, please go to the website and you'll find the link to the account. And we appreciate your donations as well. Thank you.
So I'm curious if anybody here or on Zoom has birds at home. Pet birds? Nobody here? Maybe some of the Zoom people? I have a very good friend with pet birds. I'm just putting it out there. This is the crystal. You do? Chickens. All right. Oh, this is very chicken-like. This is a piece of music by wonderful French composer Jacques Ibert called The Crystal Cage, which I think came out in the early 1920s. You will hear the birds.
Please rise for our last hymn, number 175, We Celebrate the Web of Life.
thanks again to Barbara for all of her musical choices. Picking music is not my forte, and I am so grateful to have such an expert opinion and help on doing that. It really does make this a project that is a more collaborative worship that I really like that we get to bring to you. So thank you for that. I hope for you all this week and all the weeks that follow that you can have a big wagging tail to show your excitement and joy when it is needed. You have a mean growl when it is needed. That you take the time to rest and lay and enjoy that little space, that patch of sun. I hope that you can find the ways to mirror the beauty and love and compassion that we can see every day, not just in our pets, but out in nature, out in the world, and remind ourselves that we are an integral part of this interdependent web. And we are so lucky to be a part of it. And when the things get really heavy, that we can remember that there is a divine energy that flows through all of us, from each other to our four-legged companions, to the birds, the bees, the trees, the grass, the flowers, and everything around us. Amen, shalom, salam, ashe, namaste, and blessed be. Go now in peace. May the light within you be a blessing to the world.
Thank you, Casey. So we'll have our closing circle song, and then
5-minute break.
5-minute break, and for the poochies to have a piddle somewhere out there on the grounds, and then if we'll come back here and have a short discussion about our love for our pets. So if you are uncomfortable holding hands, you can refrain from doing so, but then the words should be on the board. Thanks.
I'll wait a minute while we figure it out. Oh, there we go.
Okay, all right.
Oh, that's good.